Hello everyone, it's Pam here with Tattered Paper and Lace, and I am with you today to do a little project for the hashtag ABC April 2025, which is an April challenge by the challenge that Seven Plaza and Crafting with Tony, or Crafting by Tony, or something like that. These two ladies came up with this challenge, and it is again hashtag ABC April 2025. You can get this calendar from Seven Plaza on her coffee, and it's free, and you also can get this sheet of prompts just in case you can't come up with something for each alphabet. And that starts today, which is April the 1st, and I am going to do my best to try to do this each day. So my first day is A, so we pick something that starts with A that we can show you how to do, or something that we've learned, or whatever. So my word, or my word for the day is acetate for A. And I wanted to show you something that I recently saw on YouTube, and I apologize. It's two ladies, and the name is something and something. And I can't find it again. I went back to what my watched list, and it doesn't go back far enough for me to find and see that again. So I apologize, ladies, if you're seeing this and this was your idea, because this is not my original idea. This is my take on their idea. And what you will need is some acetate, and it needs to be a little bit on the thicker side. I'll give you an example. And you will need die cut, or free, you can do a freehand cut. So you need acetate that is somewhat sturdy, not just the flimsy paper, not the flimsy sort of packaging that you see. This is packaging, but it's one of those plastic acrylic boxes that you get some soaps or whatever in. That's what this is. So it's a little bit sturdy. So you'll need that. So you'll need some sort of acetate. You'll need your hot glue gun. You will need some pressed flowers, which is what I've used and what these ladies used. Or you can also use stickers, or a fussy cut, or a die cut image. Anything. You can even do a picture, if a photo, if you wanted to. So you can, I chose to do pressed flowers. That's what these ladies had chosen to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. So that's really all you need. You don't need to measure anything, really. Oh, and you need some glossy accents. That's important. And you'll need something to go around the edge of your acetate when you're done. This one I have used acrylic paint in bronze. This one I used a marker. You can use any marker that's gold or bronze, or whatever color you want to use. It's really up to you. I used these that you use on the seals, the wax seals, to highlight an image. And this one was metallic gold. So I used this for this middle one right here. And I haven't done this last one. And the reason I haven't done it is because you need to have some drying time, because your hot glue needs to dry a little bit, and the most important thing is the glossy accents will need to dry. So I'm going to do the edge of this one with you later. I used the acrylic paint, and I did, like I said, I used the marker with this, and I like the acrylic paint better. I like the color better. This is bronze. I didn't like the gold. I tried Winsor & Newton ink in gold. That did not stick. So the paint is my edging of choice. So what you will need to do is, and I've got some interesting news to tell you about this one. This was the first one I did. I really like the way these turned out, and I love figuring out new ways to use my dried flowers. This one I just did the edge, so it is still wet, so I'm having to be gentle with it because I just did it right before I turned the camera on. My hot glue gun is warming up. It is already warm, I believe, so I'm going to lay this one aside. And this is just, let me show you that again. This is just pressed flowers from my yard. Just these little violets, little tiny violets that come up. And that's the back side. That's the acrylic side. So that's the acrylic sheet that I used. And then this has the acetate. Excuse me, not acrylic, acetate on that side. And this side is the glossy accents. Okay, I love the vintage, and they're clear. You can see how clear they are. They don't look as clear. Let me show you here how clear they are. That's how clear. So they come out very clear, and I'll tell you, I'll give you the scoop on this other one, the reason that one is not as clear, in a moment. But first, let's just go with the process, and let's show you how you do it. So I'm going to move that one over here. I'll let it be drying somewhere where I won't get my hands on it again before it's dry. Hopefully right there will work. Okay, I thought I'd work on this so that I wouldn't get anything on my tabletop. So I am going to do this one next. And so I have two shapes. Where's my other one? Oh, here it is. So I have these two. Acetate pieces. And so I have a oval die cut, and then I have a die cut that has this little, it's more of a rectangle. It's the same one I used, same die, but a different size that I used here. So it's got a little arched top and bottom, so it's more of a rectangle with an arch at the top and bottom. And I don't have a round, so I couldn't do a round one, but a round one would be nice as well. Now, let me get I gotta get some cords out of the way here. Move that one. Okay. Now, so what you need to do first is pick out your flowers and have that to the side, or whatever it is you're going to put in the center of this. It's almost like a, starts with a C. I can't think of the name of it, but it's kind of a medallion sort of look. I don't remember exactly what you call it. The first thing you're going to do, though, and I'm probably going to have to raise you up a little bit so that I can maneuver my glue gun. You're going to take your glue gun. Let me get the excess off of there. And you are going to go around the edge of your acetate with glue. And I'm going to try to do a steady flow, although I don't mind if it's kind of thick and wobbly, because it kind of makes me think about it being an older piece. I got a little trash on my glue gun there. And so I don't mind it being a little bit globby and a little bit wobbly, because I think that adds to the antique-y feel of it. So you're just going to take your glue gun and go all the way around. I hope I don't need to get another glue stick. I might. Yep, I think I'm going to have to. Hold on. It should be right here. Yeah. I'm going to have to lay this down. Hold on. I was ill prepared. Whoa. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's continue on. So it's going to be a little bit wobbly and a little bit uneven and a little bit globby and, you know, all of those things. It's going to be a little bit of that. And like I said, I do not care. I actually like the look of that, and I'll show you the difference. I don't mind it. It'd be nice if you could make it be, but, you know, steadier hands than mine could do this better, maybe. Okay, so we've got our glue just around the edge. And I just want to make sure I have it right on the edge, too. Smooth that out just a little bit right there. Okay. Now. Okay, so there we have that. Let's let that dry a moment. So this one, the first one I did, while we let that dry, the first one I did right here, I did not use any glue around the edge because I know that, so you don't have to use glue. I know that the glossy accents, when you're pouring it out over something, it will stop on the edge. It doesn't go past the edge. If it's a piece of paper, it doesn't go past the edge. As long as you're watching, I mean, if you poured a whole lot on, it would, but generally it won't. If you're watching what you're doing and you're kind of filling in the area, it will not go past the edge of your paper or the acetate or whatever. So I didn't use glue on this because I wanted to test that theory. Again, I've already tested it on paper and that sort of thing some time back. So you can see, I'm going to move this over to the side. Your acetate does not have to be perfect because it isn't really going to matter. I think the paint's probably dry by now. So you see the difference. This one is a little more wobbly looking, some heavier and lighter areas, and all that's okay. I like that look better. But I wanted to see what it looked like if you didn't use hot glue around it, and it looks more smooth and more even. So if that's the look you want, you don't necessarily have to do the glue. I just wanted to give you that hint. But let me tell you also while we're at it, the reason this one here, the bigger one, looks clearer than the left one. This one was just as clear as this one, but I was trying out different pens for the edging. And then I also tried Rub and Buff and the gold Rub and Buff kind of stuff. And I got it all over. So I said, oh, well, let me just go wash it off, because you can wash that off your hands and all with soap and water. So I did, you know, my acrylic was dry, my glossy accents was dry and everything was good. But I didn't like, because I had gotten it over onto the middle part. Did you know, I did not know this, that if you use warm water, which is what I did to get that off, and it did wash off, but it also clouded the glossy accents, which I was not aware that it would do, because I thought once it was dry, then it wouldn't change. Whatever you did to it, it wasn't going to change again. But it did. And so it got cloudy on me. I said, okay, well, let me let it dry out again and see. And it was a little bit sticky on top. So I let it dry again, and it dried in this frosted mode. Let's see if I can show you in some other way so you can see the dots through that. Can you see the dots through that right there? Okay, so this is a little bit more cloudy, a little frosted looking almost, which also doesn't bother me. So I will still use that piece. There's nothing wrong with that piece. But this other piece, if you can tell, especially if you're looking at something through it there, and then you look at that same thing through it there, this one is a little more frosted looking. It's not as shiny, as you can also tell. Oops. I'm a mess. I'm a mess sometimes. You can tell when you are shining a light on it. See, this one's not as shiny. It's frosted. And this one is clear. That's because I washed this one in warm soapy water. I'm assuming the warm water is what did it. I don't know. I don't mind the look. It's not something I'm going to do necessarily again. But I might. You never know. I might like, I mean, it kind of makes it look a little more antique. And if I had done the hot glue around the edge so that it had the more bumpledy surface, it would have even looked maybe a little bit older. I will still use this piece, so that's not a problem. I just thought I'd let you know that that's kind of interesting. I didn't know it would do that. Okay, so we're going to move this one aside again. And now we are ready. The hot glue should be dry. I don't even mind. I try not to have these glue strings. There are some on here, so let's see if we can get those off. They're mostly on the back, and they'll come right off. There we go. Okay, so now, is this better? This might be better on white. Let's see if I've got, oh, let's see if this is better on white. You might can see it better without the background. Okay, so here is my acetate with the hot glue around it, and then this is the flowers I have chosen to go in the center of this one. And these little flowers are thin, whereas these flowers were thicker. And then what I did on this that's a little bit different as well is on these I put a little bit of glossy accents on the back of the flower part of this to lay it down to keep it in place. You don't really have to do that. On the thin one, you really don't have to do that. The other one was a thin flower like that as well. And on this one, I did it over the flower thickly, like you normally might do glossy accents, and it changed the color of the flower. This was a pale pink, and it made it be more of a yellowy golden color. I don't mind that either, but it isn't the true color of the flower. This one, I did not do that. It's a thin flower. Let's put it down here so you can see it. It is a thin flower, thin petals and thin stems. It did not change the color of it. And I didn't, it does have some over it because I did put some over it, but I didn't put anything under it because it'll hold if you just put it over it. So let me get these in the shape that I want them to be in. And that's how I want it to be. Like this. You can see these are in sections. So I'm going to have it like that. And this is, I don't know if you can tell, but that's a pale purple. And then I'm going to take my glossy accents and I'm just going to fill in the spaces. This is thin enough that I don't really need to, but I am going to put it over the edge of it. Glossy accents, if you've not used it before, it flows out so that it levels itself. So you don't have to worry about that. Again, if it's not level or if it has bubbles, I do not mind that because, again, to me, that adds to the vintage look of this piece when I'm done, and vintage is what I'm after. So I don't mind that. This, my glossy accents I've had for a while, so it is not as clear as it might be if it was a brand new bottle. But that's okay too, because it dries clear. My finger is stuck. So I'm just going through and putting it down around the flower. But I do want to cover all the areas. I want to get all the way to the edge of the acetate before, you know, inside the glue that's around the edge, which is our carbonage, something like that. Is that, I don't know, something like that. So we're going to get in the middle of this. I am going to go, or I like to go over the flower a little bit. You don't really have to. The ladies that I saw this, they didn't go necessarily over the flower. I like to do that though, just because, and I may be putting a little bit too much on there over the flower, because you don't really have to. Okay, that looks pretty good. That's pretty good. A couple areas. But this levels out on its own, so you don't have to worry about that. You just put it down. Now, the best thing to do is, if you have bubbles and you don't want the bubbles, again, I don't mind the bubbles, because that again makes it look like it's more vintage. But you can take a pin and pop the bubbles. If you see bubbles and you don't want the bubbles, you can pop the bubbles before it's dry, you know, while it's drying, or in the beginning. You need to try to do those in the beginning. Okay, so that is, and you can see that it is a little not cloudy, but not clear, sort of yellowish looking, but it dries clear, just like this, because this looks just like that at this same stage. This is a dried one that's at this same, you know, this same stage with no coloring around the outside yet. This will dry, and it will dry clear. Now I do see another, I saw a little area which I didn't have enough there for it to level out. And I want to do a little bit right here. So you don't have to go over the flower, and I'm not doing a whole lot over the flower, but I just like to make sure it's seated down in there good. I got a little bit more, let me get a pointer here, got a little bit more over this section that I might wish that I had done. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so that's what you do. That's how you do it. And now I'm going to move this to the side. And I'm going to pick it up and move it to the side so that can dry. And I let it dry for a whole day. I'm trying to find another piece of paper that I can work with here. Here's one. You should see what's on my desk. I have a mess. I have a big mess on my desk. Okay, here we go. Here's another piece of paper. So I can show you how I do around the edge. And this one is dry now. So this one is done. So this one is completely done. And I love how that looks. So what I'm going to show you here is painting around the edge. Now I am much better with painting around the edge than I was with the pen. For whatever reason, I don't know. But I also wasn't very good about painting around the edge when I was using I'm using a little short stubble brush. See, it's a little short bristle brush. That seems to work the best for me. And I'm using this paint. This is a Master's Touch from Hobby Lobby, and it is in bronze. I like the bronze better than any of the golds that I have. But you can see here, like right here, there's a bubble that's still here. I don't know if you can tell that there's a bubble there. There's a bubble right there. I don't mind. I really don't mind. And there's several bubbles in this one. There's a bubble there, there, and there. I don't mind. I think that just adds to the look. So I just take my paint, which I have my paint just on this, in this magazine right here. Bring it over right here, just on this magazine, which I usually use as my glue book, to put glue on things. And I'm just going to go around the edge, just like this with my paint. Just all around the edge. Again, I wish I could have found the video so I could give you these ladies' names. And I think this is a marvelous idea. I love figuring out things to do with dried flowers. I have different flowers in my yard. My husband is the gardener. And so we have, all kinds of things in the yard that some things grow just on their own, like these little violets. Actually, all of these little flowers that I have here are something that just was growing in the yard. It's not even anything that he planted, but I do have some hydrangea dried flowers as well that I have out here to put on another one of these. So I'm just going around the edge of this with whatever you choose to go around the edge of it with. It can be a marker, a metallic marker. I think metallic is probably a good choice, but it's totally up to you. This paint's been sitting out here a little bit, so it's getting a little bit dry. And so we'll just go around the edge just like this. And there you have it. That's pretty good. Put it a little bit thicker right here. I hope I was in frame. I get so caught up in what I'm doing, I sometimes I'm not in frame, and I apologize if I wasn't in frame. But I'm just going around this again to make sure that I got all the areas that I wanted to get with it. And you just need to dab it on, because the acrylic, it'll slide right off of it with your brush if you don't. So I'm just dabbing it on there. All around the edge, just on the glue. Okay, that's pretty good. There, that's pretty good. Got it a little bit over on the thing there, so yeah, that's good. Okay, so that's how you do this. And tell me if you know what the name of these medallion thing, carbonage, something carbonage, something like that. I can't remember what the name of it is. But that is how you do this. I thought this was an ingenious idea, something I had not seen before. Not my idea again. Again, I wish I could find the ladies. If I do happen to come across it, I can put it, I'll link their video as well. But so this is my first day, letter A for acetate, in this is the one that is still drying, and it will be drying for a while. I have noticed too that if you have it on something that's not completely flat, I'll just pick this up. It does shift. And it was on something that was not completely flat. It won't shift outside of the glue, but it needs to lay on a flat surface so that it evens out. So anyway, again, hashtag ABC April 2025, and 7 Plaza and Crafts by Tony, I think it is, Crafts by Tony, or Tony Crafting, something like that, T-O-N-I, Tony, in collaboration with them. They are doing this challenge. ABCs for the whole month of April. There's a letter for every day except Sundays. And this is my first day for the letter A for acetate. So let me know what you think about this. I thought this was an ingenious idea. And ladies, those ladies that came up with this, thank you so much. I enjoyed watching your video. And if you like this video and like to see what I do for the rest of the alphabet, click the like button, the notification bell, and the subscribe button, and you will get further videos from me, and you can see what I'm doing for this ABC April challenge. So thank you for coming. Thank you for those who have joined me. If you've just found me, welcome, and I hope you will come back, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.